and welcome back, Firewood Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. Today, me hacking firewood and getting into this milled pieces, lumber. Let's go. So it's currently, I woke up and it was 75, and then it went to 85, and now I look at my phone, look at the truck's gauge for temperature gauge, and it says it's like 101. It doesn't feel like 100 right now. I don't know why. Usually when I'm 100, I could feel sweat beating up on my back. Anyway, the point is, I'm not complaining about the heat. I'm just saying, it's too dangerous outside to be directly in the heat and doing manual labor. I'm going to be doing some manual labor in a second, but not like splitting with an axe or bucking with my saws. This pile you've seen before of the cedar, I don't know, cut off, trim pieces, milled lumber, I don't know what you would call this, but it's for my cedar guy. And there he takes the cedar to the mill. They give him these long boards, and then he cuts them and makes little decorative signs, placards for above your mantelpiece, whatever. Anyway, it's cedar. It's good wood. All wood burns, and I think a lot of it, like this up here, cut that at 16. That is going to be used for my non-premium cedar kindling bundles, and the other pieces, the other bell end, I can add to sell garbage cans full of cedar kindling scrap. I did that before, and then I have these pieces here, milled pieces of cedar, and I cut these at 16, and these will be good for premium cedar kindling because they're milled lumber. So that's what we're going to do, but do you know how we're going to do it? How we're going to cut it? I'll show you. Behold, the miter saw, or I call it the chop saw. I grew up calling this a chop saw. Anyway, you have seen this before. There's nothing new, but Firewood Hack on the channel, using the chop saw to cut up this milled lumber into 16 inches, so I can sell it, I can burn it. Just get it processed off these sawhorses here and in the wood yard stacked, so it can be offloaded. Simple as that. Now, I'm using this even though it's not that safe because I don't really want to use a chainsaw. Yes, I could put all this wood in a bunk type thing. I could put it in that buck saw. What's that thing with the crosses I made? I forget the name of it now. Anyway, I could do that, but because these pieces, they have this this curve here, and then it goes straight for a bit, then on a curve, it doesn't really work, and then each point here cut is different. So I'm gonna have to spend time with the chop saw and cut under this. Granted, this is cedar, so this is super soft wood, and it cuts easily, so there's no issue there. The main issue is on the top here. A lot of times this is not straight, and when it's up against the fence and you cut it, it may bind, it may shoot out, so you have to be very, very careful. So again, if you have watched my channel for a while, you have seen me do this before. I don't want to be, doing this with the chop saw is a lot easier than having to hold a 13-pound or 19-pound chainsaw with the 5-pound blade on it, or bar on it, bucking up wood. So this is going to be a happy medium. I'll move this whole scaffolding table in the shade. I'll just ferry pieces over, and we'll just get to chopping wood. You ready? Go. Ooh, in the shade. This feels good. Okay, so as I'm cutting here, I don't want to use the tape. I'm not saying this is an addition to or one of my arsenal to cut, but the tool I have and the tool that we're going to use. So yeah, if I have to think of anything else, I'll plug some more commentary for you. So we got through all that kindling pile that was mostly for premium. Some of it, like this piece here, I'll put in my firewood bundles, but a lot of it will be just premium. So I think that's good. I mean, most of it I was able to cut at 16, maybe a little bit shorter, maybe a tad bit longer. So yeah, let's move on to other pile. Hopefully I can get through that. I think the hardest part, see, I don't know, should I bring up the umbrella so I not have to ferry the wood? Let me do that. I'll set up the umbrella. I'll move this back over there, so I'm having just to grab, cut, go, and not have to ferry it over here. So let's do that. Rock and roll. But if you see me and I have the piece right here and I'm coming down and I'm like, my hand is really close to the blade, what I'm doing is I'm marking the piece because I don't want to hold it so close to the blade. That's dangerous, unsafe. Don't do that. You want to hold your wood out here, so there's no, so the blade is nowhere near your hand, right? So what I'm doing is having a piece over here, and I'm coming down, and I'm using the pressure and the sharpness of the blade to mark the piece, right? And then I turn it around where I have more beef on the wood, and then I'm cutting it, type thing. So if you see me in the fast forward, that's what I'm doing. A little bit safer that way. If it's like this much more wood, I'll put it in the wheelbarrow and sell it as is. It'd be nice to have everything perfect, but with kindling, I don't think it needs to be spot on. So let's continue on with chopping. Pro tip: umbrellas are awesome. Pick umbrellas, whatever, with the stand, and so this is shade. Okay, shade. I like the pop-up tents. They're nice. There's a pain in the butt to set up by yourself and to move, to have to bend the legs and things get wonky or kinky. Yeah, they're nice, but I'd rather have something be easy, something more portable. I think what I've done is I've gone on a marketplace and people want to upgrade the patio furniture and whatever shade for the summer and whatever. And some of the stuff here, the umbrella and the stand, don't go and buy this stuff. I mean, if you want to, sure, go ahead. But I'm not advocating for you to buy it. But I think hack shade in summertime when you're working outside. These umbrellas are nice. Dig it. All right, cutting is done. I got half the pile completed. So that the whole whatever's on top of the sawhorses, that's done and then processed. So we have one mountain of non-premium cedar kindling right here. So I'm doing like 0.5 cubic feet for a bundle. So this is, I mean, I don't know, at least 4 bundles at least. Some pieces are big enough to put in my firewood bundles, but most of this is going to be non-premium. So what I spent, I don't know, 10-15 minutes just cutting up wood, and that's worth like $20. That's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Scrap pieces are right here. I got this garbage can full here and then here. So these pieces I can throw, these bigger bell pieces I can throw in my cedar chunk pile. Ones that are smaller, like this piece, I'll throw in. I have a lady who buys small scrap pieces like this size by the garbage can load, and she uses that as small piece kindling. So then in bulk, and I could burn this myself with kindling too. So nothing is wasted here in this wood yard. Free wood is good wood, and we use every single piece. So obviously bark I'll toss, but everything in here will be used. So I think I have maybe like 1 garbage can full of these bigger pieces that I'll put in the chunk pile to sell, and then smaller ones I don't have a full garbage can, but I'll add it to the pile that I have in the back there. So tool hack using a chop saw, I think, is the way to go for cutting wood. Now, not the safest. Now, with any tool, wear your PPE, be safe. This did bind on me a few times, if you caught that, but just trying to make sure that I have good grip on one end, the meat end of this piece of wood, and not cut my hand. That's the name of the game. Free wood is not worth getting yourself cut, injured, mauled. Don't do that. It's not worth it. So just if you use something like this, just be careful. Again, this is not the first time I've used this, and probably not the last. But it's a nice tool to have handy in the wood yard. Just run a power cord, cut, and go, rock and roll. So we'll get to that a little later. But I want to just do a quick video on the mountain of kindling and how I ended up processing that, and how I think it's still time effective using the chop saw, versus I think I would be a lot more winded and beat up using a chainsaw. I think there'd be a lot of more handling the wood, a lot of having to be bent over, even with the top handle, perhaps even with the buck saw. I think that's what you call it. I think because of these pieces are not uniform with the bell ends and all that stuff, I can't just line them up and just zoom through it, right? So anyway, cedar kindling, rock and roll. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Until next time, life is too short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Stay safe, stay cool out there. Rock and roll. Keep cutting. Cheers.